1991 was what I call a bonus year for me. I applied to occupy a studio in the Cité in Paris. I was encouraged to do so, and when I applied, I had to send in a CV, examples of my work, and letters of recommendation. Well, my application was approved, and that enabled my wife and I to move in for 2 months. We applied for 2 months, September, October. We flew to London first. We spent a week with one of my friends, whom I knew from Chelsea days. Of course, I spent my time in the art galleries. We flew to Paris and arrived at the Cité to find a letter from my daughter welcoming us and wishing us a happy stay there. And another letter from Andrew Fuster, who was also staying at the Cité at the time, offering to show us the facility, so we'd acquaint ourselves where the post office, where the eating places were, where to shop. He was very kind. We met with him afterwards, after we'd settled in, and he took us to a little restaurant nearby. And I think we had most of our meals there. It was so close to the Cité. We met Madame Bruneau the next morning, and she issued me with tickets to the Louvre, the d'Orsay and the Pompidou, which would save a tremendous amount of money because entrance was quite expensive. Tessia was given one free ticket to each of those places, and thereafter had to pay if she wanted to go in. But she preferred, on the whole, to sort of shop around Paris. Well, the Louvre was an absolute revelation. Enormous galleries packed with superb paintings. I went in, and every day I discovered something new. I couldn't see it all in one day. The Mona Lisa attracted viewers like bees. And there was a group of Japanese people with their cameras crowded around it, so I couldn't get close to it. But I was so pleased because I could examine the wonderful Titians on either side unhindered. I would go back again and I'd look at the Mona Lisa and I'd say, it's a wonderful painting, but I prefer my Titians. I discovered Chardin, who had tremendous influence on me. Small paintings compared to the other gigantic things, but he held his own against them. Simple subjects, still lives. I came across Cezanne, early Cezanne. And I thought, this is a man I've got to study more, which I did at the d'Orsay. They had a wonderful collection of Cezannes. Well, he became one of my mentors. I still regard his painting as great. How he painted apples and oranges and created an inner light. It wasn't just a shape. he brought out the essence of the thing and how he did it. I'd go back and study it and study them and study them, and I would try and emulate it, but not with success. Not with success. Anyhow, Chardin and Cezanne were my teachers while I was in Paris. The Pompidou was a modern museum with wonderful works, but some bewildering, very large paintings. There were a couple I thought were just black, just painted black. You know, what are they doing here? But when you went closer, you just see the nuances of color, just slightly different, and it had an interplay. So there was movement going on. And I thought, oh, these chaps, well, they are saying something new, something valid. They were more fun than the other two galleries, and they would often create a chuckle, would come away chuckling at the audacity, at the risks that they took. I don't know, but risks that worked. We went to the Picasso Museum. Not many paintings, but full of artifacts, collages, and little assemblages, and small ceramic works, and some sculptures. And the one that took my fancy enormously, and I still think it's a wonderful work, is his goat, his nanny goat, devised of different materials, put together, and he shoved a plug up its backside. Only Picasso could do that. He's a wonderful, wonderful, inventive person. Wonderful, wonderful exhibition. And the other one was, I went to the French writer Zola's home. And while that was pleasant, I came across a small, very small Chardin in one of the rooms. And it drew my attention. It was exquisitely painted. Just a copper urn turned over on its side, painted exquisitely. And I'd keep on going into that room to have another look. And I felt, after a while, that the attendant there was eyeing me. I would love to have owned the thing. Beautiful, beautiful painting. But the French are proud of their heritage. All the main people have their names on the houses in which they lived. I went to the orangery where Monet's water lily paintings are housed. And these are enormous, almost abstract works of just water lilies on water, reflections. They were a revelation. Well, the whole of Paris was. I went to concerts at the Châtelet, all free. When we left Paris, Tia and I shed a tear. Yeah, that was quite an experience. I came back to South Africa, and for weeks I didn't touch a brush. I couldn't paint. I'd be asked why, and I said, well, I couldn't after all that. It's got to settle, I've got to sort it out. And the first works I did were trying to emulate Cezanne's oranges and apples. I should have gone on. Perhaps I would have cottoned on later.